Too many people are distanced from their own food and their own growing.
But we're all about to be food insecure because of the climate, so it kind of brings us together.
Climate change to me is a huge challenge.
But the policies within many of our institutions favor and support industrial agriculture.
Agroecosystems hasn't really grappled with what does social sustainability mean. And that's particularly important when we're thinking about who's going to be the next generation of farmers.
We need more farms, and we need more farmers.
AMP can help chart a better path forward.
How can we be an important part of the hearts and minds of the people that we're working with?
And when we got to the conference and some of the other students were like, oh, I didn't think that there'd be people here wearing cowboy hats and belt buckles. And it was like, well, this is actually sustainable agriculture is a big tent. And I think that that was one of the most valuable lessons, is not what you get in the textbook, but it's really what is it in your lived experience.
Because AMP is broader than just the production aspects of agriculture, bringing people together to talk about these things and then figuring out ways that we can work together.
So I think, it's going to take the kind of interdisciplinary effort, that folks at AMP and the kind of people who participate in Stinner Summits to really come together and try to break down some of these institutional barriers.
You can say that climate change is by far, to me, stands out as the single most important issue that we need to look to try to find ways of attachment.
I've reached the point where I really think that our only way of getting out of this climate change issue is to have thousands of these groups like we have here. What AMP can do is show that AMP and other organizations like it that have more of a micro but inclusive, sustainable focus. If you add all those efforts up in enough locations, you can start having an effect on something.
And it can be dealt with on a local level, but we maybe, it would also be useful to find points of attachment at the global level as well.
We need to figure out how to diversify our diets. Are we going to look at what we call new ideas? And let me just list a few. Local food, polyculture, permaculture. Are we going to look at those and admit that those are not new ideas? That's what indigenous people have been doing.
But we need to be thinking about all of these different groups in different ways, because I think they have different needs.
We're definitely going to have to make compromises. We're going to definitely have to find new ways to do things in the future, and we have to find ways to build bridges between different perspectives.
We have to be advocates for the people and the animals and the plants who don't have voices in spaces.
And so trying to bridge that gap and finding scales of solutions that work with both small-scale farmers and kind of larger-scale, more conventional farmers would be important.
I'm pretty excited too about the potential for AMP to return to some of its roots, convening what I'll call engaged research, grounded research, where we bring all the kind of scholarship and expertise we have at the university together with farmers and food system actors who know how those systems work from a different point of view, and really build collaborations.